Hey everybody, how's it going? Today we're going to take a look at the newest collab in the world of Monster Strike. It is Madoka Magika. I know this is usually later than what we have for these kind of rundown videos, but of course, lots of things happening. It was of course shadow dropped on us in between the Monster Freak event, day 2, day 3. And of course a lot of other stuff happening with some of my other games, kind of distracting me from getting to this. I prioritized doing the rundown for the version updates. Maybe I should have done it in reverse order because I guess this has a lot of stuff actively going on. But that's okay. We'll make sure that you don't miss out anything in the Madoka Magika collab. There's a few things here and there that you should keep an eye out for. And actually, as of the recording date of this video, the Walpurgis Night Insidious event has come out, and I want to make sure that you can figure out when that will be coming, because that is a little bit tricky in terms of when it will show up. But first, let's go over the gacha monsters real quick. As you know, we have 3 characters available with the 6-star level. We've got Kaname Madoka in the light element, Akemi Homura in the dark element, and then my favorite, Sakura Kyoko, played by Kyoko here back in the day, in the fire element. For the 4 5-star monsters, you've got Miki Sayaka in water and Tomoe Mami in wood. As you can see, I have thankfully completed that all, so I'm a happy camper there. And as of you can see that the individual rate ups have started for the characters. They will rotate one after another each day, and then the last 2 days of the collab, which is the 16th and 17th of October, all 3 will be available at the same time, and you can pick and choose which one you want to take the rate ups on. Now, let's go over the strike shots for each of these characters real quick to see if any of them catch your eyes. Kaname Madoka here in her first form. She fires light arrows from above, and it will attack all enemies, so you don't actually have to target anybody with her strike shot. The first gear gives you a 30% buff, and then the arrows will do 1.92 times your attack stat for, again, 30 hits. Gear 2 will be a 40% buff to yourself, and then the follow-up arrows do 2.88 times their attack. So another, basically almost doubling the original damage. I wouldn't say double, but an extra full 100% worth of your attack stat, basically. So not too bad. And of course, you know, being able to hit everybody on the screen is a nice utility as well. And of course, you know, I do want to point out that the base form, the first transcension of Madoka does have no transport wall, so that form could come into play a little bit later in the future when that becomes a normal, not a normal, but something that we see everywhere, kind of like what we see with speed down walls. So something to think about for the future. But Ultimate Madoka here looks quite amazing. She has a lot in her strike shot that happens at once. First, it is a guaranteed boss hit, so you do not have to do anything in particular. You are guaranteed to hit the boss no matter what. On top of that, you get a defense down and a delay to the boss. And afterwards, arrows get fired towards the boss, and it comes in 2 flavors as well. You have one set that is a percentage damage, and then one set that's actual static damage. And then finally, there's a huge blast, which activates bump combos. And then once that blast happens, all of the bump combos will fully unload on whatever's on the screen. The boss will not run away, even though, you know, they may have lost their gauge at that point. Any overkill damage you do with that, you know, blast bump combo combination at the end, it will take full damage, which is amazing. So you can do a lot of damage with this Ultimate Madoka strike shot form. And you can see the stats here. The first gear, it's a 30% boost to herself just by moving around at first. And then that delay is 1 turn. The defense down means the boss will take 15% more damage than usual. The percentage arrow damage is there's 6 arrows that do 2.5% each, or a total of 15%, followed by 60 arrows, which does about 3.3 times your attack stat. And then finally a huge blast at the end that does 5.5 times your attack. Then the second gear, that actually pumps it up quite a bit. The buff to yourself goes up to 60%, which is quite nice. Delay is increased to 2 turns. The defense down goes up to 25% extra damage dealt. And then the percentage damage increases to 25%. Your attack static goes to 5.5 times your attack stat. And then finally a 9.2 times attack stat of your blast. Of the blast at the end. So lots of good stuff. If you haven't seen her in action, it is quite a powerful strike shot. Kind of like Levi, where you'll probably end up, blasting through that gauge no matter what, that you won't really take advantage of that delay. But when you do need it, that's actually going to be really nice for sure. So pretty awesome strike shot for Madoka here. As of this moment, she does have an 8.5 rating on Game. Akemi Homura in the dark element. It's a pretty simple strike shot. All enemies on the screen will be delayed. You don't have to hit them. You're guaranteed to delay them. Strike shot first here is a 20% buff, and the delay takes 2 turns. And then this, I guess I messed up there. The second gear is a 30% buff, and we'll do 3 turns worth of delay. So let me change that real quick. There we go. Now it's all better. Alright. So, there you go. We have Akemi there. Speed downwell, warp, minesweeper, block. Certainly some good. And actually, the Unite Blitz is quite a powerful bomb combo. Probably explains why the strike shot isn't too interesting. But, that honestly, that bomb combo set that Homura has is quite strong. So, it was fun to play around with her on screen. Now, Sakura Kyoko here in the fire element. She currently has an 8.0 rating. And actually, sorry, right? Homura has a 7.5 rating right now. Kyoko here, strike shot. It will target the first enemy you hit. That's very important. Make sure you realize who you hit first. She will do a diagonal attack, going from the top left or top right, I believe, moving down diagonal. And then afterwards, there's a blast that hits the entire screen. Strike shot first gear is a 20% buff to herself, and then the follow-up attack and the blast do 10 times her attack stat. And then the second gear, that bonus goes up to 1.65 times, so 65% boost, which is great to see. And then the follow-up attack is 20 times her attack stat there. So quite strong. I actually enjoyed a lot. Cool to see the auto javelin and the sword swipe. That combined with, if that boss ever touches the top half of the screen, you get a nice attack bonus with that Slayer, and all of the bomb combos would take advantage of that as well. And again, like I said, null transport wall. Very good to see that. Should mean that Kyoko has a decent life in the Monster Strike future here. Now, for 5-star monsters, we've got Miki Sayaka in blue, 6.5 right now on game with, null warp, super null, speed down wall, null transport wall, and laser barrier slayer M. All of that is on the main. Strike shot is a 30% buff to herself, and then a speed up as well. And then she will do some slashes while she's moving around, which does 40% her attack stat. Unfortunately, that strike shot not very interesting, and that's probably why she has a 6.5, but she does have the Attach Bomb 6, which is a very powerful bump combo. Regardless, in a collab, you should always get at least one copy of each. You never know when they will find a place to shine, and that is no exception here. The other 4-5-star is on the right. You got Tomoe Mami there in the wood element. She currently has a 7.0 rating on game with. Abilities are super null damage wall. Just realized my screen is dead. There you go. Right. Super null damage wall, null magic circle, water slayer on the main, and then on the gauge you got null transport wall and strike shot turn reducer. Strike shot is a 20% buff with a speed up as well, and then there's a follow-up attack to the first enemy where she will fire 5 blasts at about 5.8 for attack stat, followed by a big attack at the end, which does 26.66 times her attack. So pretty nice strike shot there, and her bump combo is the super snipe machine gun. Now, do you need to go to 90 luck for these characters? I don't think any of them are superstars in terms of the 4-5-star collab comparisons, so probably you don't need to, but like I said, I would highly recommend to at least get 1 copy of each. I did see somebody use a full Mami party for one of the castle stages, which I thought was pretty interesting. And of course, with every collab nowadays, you do get the option to purchase a pack there that gives an exclusive monster that you can only get from the store here. Now, I do want to warn you that as of October 6th, midnight, they will be changing the price of this pack from 980 yen to 1,000 yen. This is, of course, due to the Apple App Store mandating a price adjustment due to the exchange rates between the US, I guess the dollar and the yen. Which yen is quite weak right now compared to the dollar. So to make up for the lost, I guess, exchange rate, they are increasing the prices on that front. However, Monster Strike is being very nice, and the changes that they've made is quite minimal. You might have seen those changes in my previous video. If not, I highly recommend you see that to see what they're changing. But just another reminder that if you do want this pack with Kyoko and Sayaka together, you will need to buy that now. Otherwise, you'll have to pay 20 yen more, which is basically nothing. But maybe for some of you, the principle. But here are the stats for Sayaka and Kyoko. The strike shot is just a simple 20% buff to itself. There's a follow-up attack that does 5 hits at 9.6 times her attack stat, and then there's a paralyzed effect afterwards. The second gear, that buff increases to 50%. The follow-up attack increases to 12 times, but still stays at 5 hits apiece. And then there's a paralyze at the end, which also not good. Now, of course, the events, you can hopefully, you are hopefully taking advantage of them nicely there. You can see that I did use Kuto there. You can see that the Box Witch and the Shadow Witch and Fire and Light respectively are the 24/7 4 5-star quests. You can get them up to 90 luck by farming 75 copies. Those are available to play at your leisure. The direct drop quest is the Class Representative Witch in Water. This does not require any max lux. All you need to do is complete the stage. You will get 7 drops minimum. And then at the end, when you clear the boss, you will get a random 1 to 3 drops. If you are playing co-op, you have a chance for the boss to drop 2 or possibly even 3 copies. Obviously, this is a godsend for these direct drop quests. So make sure you do not forget playing this once every day, because that bonus is a lifesaver. Now, we also have scheduled quests, and those will be the Rose Garden Witch and the Desert Witch in Wood and Dark, respectively. Make sure you bring max luck monsters to make your life easier. There's also another way we can make our life easier. We'll talk about that in a bit, but just make sure you find out, on the schedule when it's done. I've actually finished the Desert Witch already, which is nice. It's not too bad, to be honest. So really nice to see that. Alright, now we do have an Insidious quest available, and unlike previous stages, you actually cannot see this in the mission anywhere. It's not going to show up in the recurring, it's not going to show up in your schedule. You will just have to just be playing the game and then see when it's available and start farming. Also important to note is that this quest cannot be stocked, nor can it be time belled. So you have to make sure you are available to play it when it's on in the game, right? You can't just be like, I'll just bell it later, I'm good. That does not work for this quest, so please be careful about that. Now, the properties of this quest is that all monsters get 99 luck when taking on this quest, so you do not need to bring any max luck monsters. But unlike previous Insidious quests, it does not guarantee you are getting the boss for every chest, nor is it guaranteed that the drop is going to give you anything. Right? You're gonna have to play it quite a few times to max luck. The quest is active as of this moment. October 5th, midnight is when this quest started. Now, the good news for you guys is that the game messed up earlier, and when you went to your missions here, we'll talk about them in a bit, but they actually had the information button here, which actually showed you all of the times this quest was going to be available. They patched it out because obviously the gimmick here is that you aren't supposed to know when it's coming. But it does look like, at least for the first 2 appearances of this quest, that it did follow the timetable that they gave on that chart, and it looks like it's cyclical. So while it didn't show everything, we did see that it starts cycling on the last day towards the first day. So my assumption is that it is going to cycle for each of the days. So I have summarized them in a nice timetable here for you, so that you can figure out when this quest is actually going to show up. There are basically 5 regions, not 5 regions, but 5 cycles that it goes through, and it just goes through them again and again. So you can see that the first appearance was at midnight Japan time on the 5th of October, again in Japan, which was 8 a.m. for us in the Pacific time zone, right? Obviously, I didn't wake up for that. I was getting my beauty sleep there. So that's fine. But, you know, I did check in 2 p.m. Yes, it was active. So, okay, it looks like whatever schedule they had then is active. And so now you can use this chart to help you figure out when the next time this quest will be showing. Again, you will not get any notifications in-game that this is active. You are going to have to take the initiative on your own to find the quest and play it, right? So, how you read this chart is on the right. You see the calendar. Each day has a color associated with it. Use the appropriate time zone to figure out what is going to be the times for that particular day. So you can see that for us, if you're in the US Pacific time zone, that today is where it's currently October 4th. So I know there's a session at 8 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m. today. And then you can check out the next day. The 5th is, okay, I got one at 4 a.m., 1 p.m., and 9 p.m. Then the 6th, we've got 2 a.m., 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 6 p.m. All right, and you can see that the colors will cycle between the gray, yellow, blue, orange, and green all the way up until the 17th. And the important here on the 17th is that this collab ends at noon Japan time on the 17th. So that underlined starred entry there on the left, right? That's going to be the last instance of the quest, right? So don't misinterpret this chart and think, well, I guess it's easier for us in the Pacific time zone, right? Like that 6 p.m. slot should be the last slot for the day, right? On the 16th of June, not June, 16th of October, right? 6 p.m. should be the last slot that this Walpurgis Night quest is available. So just make sure you are not messing up that portion. Now, if there's anything wrong with this timetable, let me know. I think I got all of the conversions right. The colors should be hopefully correct. I apologize if there's anything wrong there, but you know, use this to your advantage to figure out when this quest is coming. And of course, if you're not in the Eastern Pacific GMT, you know, +0 or JP time, just, you know, plus minus based on your time zone to figure out when these quests will be active. So again, this is going to be posted on Twitter and the Discord channel. So if you are in either environment, go ahead and use that, save it on your computer, pin it. I don't know what you want to do, but use this to figure out when you can start farming this quest. Now, we do have a Guardian Beast here with the collab. It is Kyubey. You can take him on here with this quest, as is always with collabs. You get double drop rates for those shards, which is very important. And for those of you who are new to this concept of a Guardian Beast, you can collect up to 400 shards per monster. However, you need 500 to max out this monster to fully get its properties, which means you're going to have to steal essentially 100 shards from another monster in the general pool that you see here. However, keep in mind that this is a collab, limited time collab, so even if you don't care about this, you should 100% should max out the shards for a collab monster, because these will never come back, and that's 400 shards that you could use for somebody else if you don't care about this particular monster. So again, make sure you prioritize finishing this as one thing you do if you figure you're going to have a long life in the world of Monster Truck. Now, Kyubey himself, or I don't know actually the gender of Kyubey here, but the ability here is basically what we saw with Puck, right? It will reduce HP of all enemies on the screen by X HP, and then there is a Y% chance that you delay all enemies by 1 turn. depending on the level of Kyubey. The values for X and Y differs in the chart, as you can see there. I will leave it up to you to read it at a later point to see what point you want to stop. But again, if you only farm the shards for Kyubey on his particular event, you will get up to level 9. You will have to steal 100%. Now, let's talk about grief seeds. If you go to the home page, you probably saw this little cute ribbon here. And you are completing missions, completing quests, and you will be using those to activate these soul gems. I believe it was. Yeah, soul gems. Now, I've already finished them, so I guess it's unfortunate you don't see what it looks like at the moment. But how do you get these grief seeds? Well, you have to be playing a collab quest. If you do, every time you solo clear a quest, you will get 1 grief seed. If you do a hosting of a guest, or actually, no, you don't even have to host. You just have to play co-op. If you play co-op, you will get 2 grief seeds. Now, it's important here that when you farm for these grief seeds, you are only getting a maximum 5 per day through this method. That's important. Through this method, you are only getting a maximum of 5. So, you know, worst case, you're playing, best case, sorry, you're playing 3 co-op quests and you're done, right? But what do you do with these? Well, I guess I already jumped the gun there. But you go to this page and you have these 5 soul gems that need to be purified. At first, you can see on the slide here, they are completely dark and just missing, devoid of color, right? Your first attempts to purify these soul gems will get them to level 1, and that'll allow you to use the power that is locked within that soul gem. And then when you purify it a second time, it increases the effectivity of that soul gem. Now, this is important. To start with, you are only allowed to activate 1 soul gem at a time and take advantage of its powers. But we'll talk about that in a bit when we get to the next few pages. Now, how much does it cost to purify these soul gems? Well, your first level will require 5 soul gems. So when you'll be able to tap this soul gem, and then it will say, okay, this is your first time doing this. It's going to cost you 5 grief seeds. The second time you do this, it will cost you 10. And then that will allow you to, like I said, increase its effectiveness. And every time you do purify these gems, you'll be getting rewards. You can see that the first row always gives you a dragon gem, 5 copies of that particular color, as well as allowing you to use the level 1 skill. And then the second time you do that, you will get a badge that you can put next to your name when you play co-op of that particular color, and then you also get level 2 unlocked for those abilities. If you finish all 5 soul gems, you will get an additional badge that you can pick, which is of course the soul grief seed, and you can use that if you want. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what these abilities actually do in game, and so we have a summary page here. Again, this was already on the news screen, but if you need some refresher about what each does, I've summarized them here. Indeed, there's 3 colors, and then there's 2 levels for each color. The pink soul gem will allow you to start the game with all of your strike shots charged and ready to go. The purple soul gem will allow you to have the guide on at all times. The yellow soul gem will give you double drops for all of your chests at the end of the screen. The blue soul gem will get you attack and bump combo damage increasing by 50%. And finally, the red soul gem will give you 50% extra damage to weak points. And you can see that each soul gem has a different time it's going to be active for. You can see some of them are quite quick, like the pink and the yellow one. Those will only be active for 15 and 30 minutes respectively, depending on the tier of your soul gem. Whereas some of them are a little bit longer, where the purple, blue, and red will be at 30 minutes for the level 1, and then increases to an hour at the second level. And then you can see that there is a cooldown associated with each soul gem. So when you use it, you're going to have to wait that long before you can use it again. Now, this is also important that a soul gem only applies for the host, or sorry, let me word this correctly. When you play a quest, only the status of the host's soul gem matters. So when you join as a guest, it doesn't matter what you have active, it's not going to apply for that quest. So don't waste your soul gems if you are joining as a guest. It will only apply as the host. However, when you start a quest as the host, it applies to everybody who joins, right? So let me repeat. The soul gem effects only take into consideration the host, but it applies to everybody who joins the game, right? Very important. So do not waste your time here, because again, once you use it, you're gonna have a cooldown and you're gonna wait until it's ready again, right? You can see that I'm still waiting for my chest cooldown to finish off when I used it last. Now we're talking about the missions. Let's go back to the mission page here. That you can see that they are grouped into sets of 5. You must clear a set before you can take on the next mission. You cannot pre-clear missions ahead of time. They have to be active in your current set before you can take them on. So don't try to skip the groups. You have to play them in order in terms of the sets. Okay? Very important. You can see that there is a 5th section here that is locked that will be added later. Looks like it says in-game on the 8th of October, which that's pretty nice. So we'll get a few more things. I'm sure we're going to get a new Insidious quest to take on. That's going to be harder. Well, we'll see if it's harder or not. But something will be coming later as well. Now, if you haven't seen this already, these are the translated missions. Again, you can come back to the video, see it here. You can go to ENG Monst to grab it. It is pinned on the profile of that channel, that account. So you can go there, or Discord channel. There we go, channel. Discord channel has these pinned as well, so that you can refer to them at any time you want. Rewards are here as well. You can see the various Grief Seed rewards, as well as copies of the Homura and Kaname Madoka character that you get for free in game. You also get a few items here and there, get some good job stickers, a nice variety of goods. Also, don't forget that you do get set rewards. Every time you complete a set of 5, you get an additional reward, including some more good job stickers. Importantly, the 3rd set, once you clear that actually allows you to evolve your Madoka and Homura character. Which, again, the missions in that set require you to play it in the 5-star form. So that's very nice of them to force you to play that. But don't get caught off guard seeing that you can't evolve them quite yet. But the other big thing that you get for completing a set is your ability to activate multiple soul gems at the same time. Right? When you start, you're only allowed to use one at a time, but every time you complete a set, you'll get a +1 for same time activities. So you get 2 after completing the first 5, 3 available when you complete the second set. And then, as you can see right now, I can use up to 4 powers at the same time until I finish the mission 16, 17, and 19. So don't get confused about that. And also don't forget that you have the ability to activate multiple at the same time. You just have to clear these sets of missions. As you know, we get some nice login rewards that features, of course, Madoka and Homura Did I? Yeah. Okay, so that's how it goes. Day 4, you get a Kyubey good job sticker. And then day 2, you also got a Tokudama. It looks like we're only going to get one. We'll probably get one more on Monster Strike Day. But that looks like the limit in terms of free pulls. And of course, just in case you forgot, the Madoka and Homura that you saw on the login, as well as the paid pack Sayaka and Kyoko, all function as a max luck for the duration of the collab. However, keep in mind, I do believe you will need to actually evolve that Madoka and Homura first before you get them to a max luck value. And I think that is it for the Madoka Magika collab. There's not much else. I think I have a Hoshi. Yeah, let me do my Tokudama here. Since we're here. And I did get to see the special, video cut-in for the collab, which is pretty cool. Oh, cool. That's it for me today. Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like button, subscribe, comment below. ENG month for Twitter to see everything with respect to the missions or the timetable. That is there for you at all times. And of course, the Discord is available for you to talk with other folks who love the game, speak English. Hopefully, are going to be helpful for the new kids. Thank you so much for watching. Do you know I appreciate your time? 30 minutes. Wow. Until next time.